Welcome back to the Expert Walkthrough for Demon's Souls, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD. And strap yourselves in because today we're going to have a very productive episode that's going to be plenty of progress and action. It's going to be a lot of fun. So today we're going to head into the second Archstone, the Archstone of the Burrowers. And before we do that, we do have one tiny little bit of business that needs to be attended to in the first Archstone again. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to... Let's see, the Lord's Path will work just fine. It's been quite a minute since my last Demon's Souls episode, so I have no shame in telling you guys that I actually had to go back and watch the last episode to see where I left off and determine what we're going to do today. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go grab the Dragon Bridge items, because we still didn't get those. And the dragon is slain. We took care of him with many arrows, and I got so tired of shooting him with arrows, I decided to switch to magic and just start vaporizing him, as you guys saw in the clip. But because the dragon has been dealt with, we are free to loot all of these items. So there's a winged spear. You're going to get plenty of grass and soul items. And this will just take a minute. More grass. So much grass that we officially can't carry anymore. Get a twofer on these guys. Let them swing. Easy peasy. Okay, Renowned Hero Soul. That's a good soul item. Go. Making use of the broad sweep of the Crescent Falchion. No problem. We'll pick up some ammunition while we're at it. Now, to my knowledge, there shouldn't be any more items after this next little spot here. Okay, so we got one right here. Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. That's arguably the most important item you can get on the bridge. Well, looks like we're okay. Tell you what, I will do this. We can literally steamroll these guys because of how much damage we do. So I'm not worried about it. Come on. We got some throwing knives off that guy. Very nice. And we should not have another lizard, but I'm going to run up here and find out if we do. Oh, we do! I'm so glad I checked. Excellent. Large Sharpstone shards. I don't think those are particularly important to me on this build, but I'm still glad we got them. It's more so about killing the lizards for me. So, now that that order of business is taken care of, it's time to head into Stonefang Tunnel. And we'd be foolish to go in there as we are now, so what are we going to do? We're going to do some maintenance. So, wow. I don't need this much crescent moon grass. I just don't. We're gonna put away like 40 of them. Yeah. Don't need any of that. It's all just wasted weight. And then with these, we will put in 14 of them. Yeah, I'll get by with this many healing items. That's plenty. These don't weigh anything, so we don't technically need to put them in here, but yeah. Alright. Definitely putting away all of our upgrade stones, because we're going to get so many upgrade stones in this level that it's going to be overburdening. we're going to keep this because this is honestly the weapon that I'm choosing to use in this place. Don't need either of these. This is one item I picked up on the bridge off screen by accident. I was standing over I think a Dregling corpse that was like over top of this shield. The spike shield is good. It's very interesting that this weapon has 100% physical damage reduction, because in every single other game, like Dark Souls for example, I don't think it had 100% reduction in Dark Souls, and it certainly didn't have that in the other Souls games either. But in this game, it's just like a regular heater shield almost that you can just use to bash people though and cause bleed buildup. It's pretty cool. It does thrust damage. So put both of those away. I don't want... Well, I'm going to keep that. I don't need that. We are not a crossbow guy. We are an arrow person on this build, so we're going to put away that. Alright, there's our little bit of maintenance.
We are indebted to you.
Well, if you really feel that way, I'll give you my routing number when I come back. But, alright, it's time. Highly recommend you go into this place in soul form if you're not wanting to mess up your world tendency. So, the Smithing Grounds. Now, upon entering this place, we are going to be greeted by a crystal lizard. And that's why, for this part... Let's see, don't want the Herculean Strength Ring because we don't need it. We are going to switch to the Thief Ring. I'm really glad I remembered. This is very important for this part. Put the Thief Ring on because you can see him over there. Can't lock on to him yet. Come on. Come on. Lock on, damn it. Can't lock on. Whatever. Alright. I mean, he would have already ran away from us if we didn't have the Thief Ring, but the good thing about the Thief Ring is you can use it to lock onto that guy and shoot him with an arrow. The lizards are very weak to pierce damage in this game, so let's see if we can just, like, hit him. Because the goal is to hit him and knock him over. Okay, now we can run up while he's down. There we go. So we got 8 hardstone shards. 8! That's a pretty good chunk. My color settings are set to bright, so that probably doesn't look very good in this place. Let me do this. No, I don't want any of these. I want... Here we go. That probably looks way better. Alright, I had it set to bright because there were some darker areas back there, and let's... Here, just for the sake of, curiosity, let's see what Classic looks like, because that was actually how I played... Oh, that looks awesome. Classic is actually what I played on my entire first playthrough, and I thought it looked fantastic, so...
Hello there. Souls. I trade fine goods for souls.
Alright, so this guy, his main, thing, his whole entire reason you don't kill him on the spot is this. You can buy upgrade materials from him that are pretty good. Now, this pickaxe is a very unassuming item. It's cheap. It's only 500 souls. You can get it from the enemies in there. It's a pretty common drop in there. But this thing's big thing is that it is a pierce weapon. So it's not like a good weapon. It doesn't scale well, really. It doesn't it's not necessarily like a higher tier weapon. But its whole entire appeal is that it very much is good for the enemy type that's in here, because we're going to run into these scaled sort of lizard guys that are weak to pierce damage, and they are highly resistant to blunt damage and pretty resilient against slash as well. Now, our Crescent Falchion will do fine against them because they're super duper weak to magic, but if you come into this place using something that is pierce damage and magic, these guys are nothing. They won't give you any trouble at all. But if you don't have access to a pierce weapon, say that your playthrough so far, you have either discarded or sold anything that is pierce damage because it just doesn't apply to you, I think you're really going to want to change your mind in this place, because it's going to be the difference between struggling and being able to get through this place in one piece. So I'm just pointing it out to you now. You can buy this pickaxe if you don't have a thrust weapon, or
You want to, don't you agree?
if you followed along with me, you can use the Uchigatana. So we don't have enough to one-hand this thing, but we can two-hand it, and the two-handed moveset does offer a thrust attack. So I'm going to use the Crescent Falchion because it has magic damage on it, so my damage type isn't necessarily ideal for this place, but I should say my attack type. My attack type is Slash, so it's not very good for this place, but my damage type is Magic, and that is very good. Like, Magic is better than Pierce against these guys, and I have like 4 different ways to use magic damage, so I'll be okay.
Oh, hello.
So the other thing that you can get from him is he has the Sharpening Stone, which will make your durability go back up on your weapon. He sells the Elixir and some grass if you need it. Don't know why you would, because the amount that you pick up in this game, these are good. You're going to be making some trips to him if you want to upgrade multiple weapons. And then he has the pickaxe. But he has some interesting dialogue, so we're going to talk to him for a second.
Our little town. It's a nice wee place. All those lizard-eyed townsfolk are busy tinkering with stone and don't bother with old folk like me. Makes life rather easy for me. I can get away with anything. I always knew there was a god. Thanks for looking out for me. Oh, have you heard about sparkling lizards? Not easy to catch, but they've got some fine stones. And I know where one of their nests is. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't give it away.
Now that dialogue, they kind of changed up a little bit. Before, like right now, he says, have you heard about sparkling lizards? And he talks about them as if they are like a concept that you may have seen in passing. In the original Demon Souls, the one over there that we just murked, he talks specifically about that lizard. He says, do you see that lizard over there? He's not easy to catch, but he has some fine stones. And I know where his nest is. And the rest of the dialogue is kind of the same, but in this dialogue, in the remastered version, he says, I know where one of their nests are, and that's always thrown me off about this version of the game, because it sort of suggests that there's more than one, when in reality, there's not.
I always knew there was a god. You want to, don't you agree?
All right, and then down here, we're not going to be able to go down here yet. I mean, we will soon, but we need to activate this lift first. So now what we're going to do is we're going to progress into the level and get started. These guys throwing rocks. All right, so we're about to get into the nitty-gritty and start doing some fighting, and it's going to be just a little bit challenging. And I'm excited about it, so let's make sure our headphones are comfy. Check. I have my cold brew. I opted for almond milk this time. Let me take my good luck sip of that. All right, here we go. So I tend to wait for these guys to do their thing, and then I run. There we go. You wait for it at the same time, gives it the maximum amount of opportunity. Pick this sticky white stuff up. Ow. And then there shouldn't be anything over there. Okay. So let's heal up a little bit. We're going to pick up so much damn grass here. It doesn't matter that we're being a grass pig right now. It doesn't matter. Alright, so here's our first batch of enemies, but instead of going down that way, the obvious direction, what we're actually going to do is we're going to interact with this handle here, and we're going to get this lever out here moving. So be careful dropping onto this, because you guessed it, if you fall, you die. This is one of the more unforgiving portions of this game that I have fond memories of. And then in here, Can't really see him with my camera, but in here we're going to have Fat Minister. This is our first Fat Minister that we've dealt with in this game. He's using Flame Toss. And we have this ability too. It does quite a bit of damage if he hits you, so. Now, Flame Toss is what he uses primarily. I want to experiment. 109 is Flame Toss. 60 if we hit him with magic. Okay. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'll let him do that. He's still got me. Alright. Now, if you get close to him, he does use that little whip that he's got there, whatever that thing is. I don't really know if it's a whip or what it is, but I just know that he will switch to melee. So he's toast. And now we're going to get our first opportunity to see how the Crescent Falchion does, and we're going to compare some damages. So, these guys just kind of punch. They're pretty weak, but okay, look at that. We can damn near one-shot them. We still did 105 damage. Let's switch to the Uchigatana. Oops. And let's see how it does. Okay, not a good comparison because they are basically, we're already on death's door. This Crushing Battle Axe is great for strength builds. And he dropped a Full Moon Grass for us. Sometimes you can get lucky and you can get pieces of their armor. Like the Fat Official is what they're called. That's his actual name. But sometimes you can get Fat Official gear. Like you can get their hat, their gloves, their armor. I think you end up picking it up as a full set in this game off of a corpse. It's like a guaranteed drop once per playthrough. But I do know that fighting them does yield a small opportunity to get those pieces. And this spot that we're in right now, all the way down here, this little like this little dark spot that I'm standing on, there's going to be a primeval demon here later, and those only show up with the correct tendency. And the importance of the primeval demon showing up and getting that tendency to make him appear, why did that just happen? That was strange. The importance of that is that primeval demons drop a colorless demon soul when you kill them, and the colorless demon soul is the soul item that you need to upgrade boss weapons. Alright, so now I want to experiment a little bit. I want to try to use this against these guys. Oh, come on. Not really what I wanted to do, but alright. 90? Alright, so 90 damage if we do a thrust attack, right? We only did 16 with a slashing hit, so that should tell you this Crescent Falchion I'm using is slash damage. It's like, ow. It's very much a bad damage type for these guys, but the reason it's good and it's working out for us is because it's magic, and they are very, very weak to magic. So yeah, we can basically one-shot these guys. Yeah. So, using thrust damage is your best bet in here, but if it's not an option for you, opt for the Crescent Falchion. It does great. So this part, we're going to take advantage of our second source of pierce damage that we have, which is the bow. What the hell? Alright. This part, take your time. You don't want to go rushing into this part. It's not good. Now, magic works exceedingly well against these guys. And you'll see that more and more as we go through this level. But for this part, pace yourself. Do not go running forward and just start smashing mobs of these guys. And use the Thief Ring. That's my advice to you on this part. When you walk into this room, make sure you have the Thief Ring equipped, because... Do I have the... There it is. Oops. I want to use it. So, behind this pot, there are dogs. You can actually see the arm of a fat minister back there, too. He's not the problem, though. We're not worried about him. On the other side of these pots is like 3 or 4 dogs, and they are awful. When they swarm you, it's going to cause some serious issues for you. So here's what I recommend you do. Instead of running forward and worrying about all that nonsense and trying to fight all these guys, what I recommend you do is pull these guys one at a time to you, and you fight them on your terms. You lure them in and get them over here to you. And that way you don't have to worry about the dogs bursting through there and ruining your day. Just don't go too close, because once you set a certain amount of distance forward in this room, they will break through those pots, and they will be on you like stink on shit. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull these guys over here. And one of these guys is different than the other. You'll notice what I'm talking about when he gets near us. So, you see this bag that he's got in his hand? There are some enemies in here, and they're set enemies in set locations, but there are several of these guys in here that carry this big sack in their hand. And watch what happens when we kill him. You see that? Oh yeah, lots of upgrade stones. So, your item burden, let's see, what is ours right now? Ours is 50.2 out of 98. Okay. So pay attention to your item burden as you go through here, because if you get every single thing, at some point you're probably going to need to equip the Ring of Herculean Strength, which we got from Thomas. We don't want to equip that now because we want the bonus and the advantage of the Thief Ring to keep us hidden from the dogs and any other enemy that we encounter. We want to control every fight. We want to be the reason that anyone fights us at all to begin with. We want to be the initiator of every conflict, so we can stay in control and get through this place. But this ring in particular, you want to have on you for sure. Don't put this in your storage. Keep it on you all the time, because we're going to kill plenty of guys with the bags, and we're going to want to have this in order to increase our increase our item carry capacity, so we can take all of the stones home with us. Now, if you run out of space, I'm pretty sure they automatically go to your box anyway, back at the Nexus, but I don't know. It's just something that I've been so accustomed to doing since the original Demon Souls. Now, let me pull this guy. I have a lot of arrows. I can cheese this guy down. Not worried about. So now, we've dealt with everybody in the room. There are no more external dangers. Now we can break these pots. I want to be over here because I'm going to want to funnel these dogs into this tunnel. Alright. So let's do this. Actually, here. This is probably the smarter thing to do. Alright. Can't really see them, it's so dark. But we got them. Alright, so that didn't go so bad. It can go a lot worse. It's very easy for those dogs to overwhelm you and kill you if you're not careful. Yes, I hear you laughing in there. I will come in there, kick the shit out of you in a second. Alright. So... damn it. Could not roll fast enough. Whatever. So Flame Toss, his very own attack, works pretty well against him. Go figure. Alright. And then now we're going to start navigating upward. So deeper into the level. Be very mindful in this place. I keep hitting triangle to pick things up because my thumbs are in Elden Ring mode. Okay, more upgrade stones. Hell yeah. Now, I'm just going to say this now at the beginning of the level, so you will start doing it and taking it seriously as you navigate through, but something that you want to do in this place, pretty much exactly like what you would do in Dark Souls or any other Souls games, is as you start navigating through this part of the level where there are these like tunnels and these tight spaces, keep your shield up as you go through. And I'm going to show you why. Check this out. You see that? We're immediately greeted by a guy with a bad attitude and a pickaxe, and you saw that guy hit me earlier. Like, pickaxe guys hit really hard. And they have hyper armor, too. Like, once they swing at you with that weapon, that's it. Nothing is going to stop that attack. Like, there's a lot of hyper armor behind that swing, and they seem to have, like, infinite poise once they swing at you. But this isn't the only encounter like this. Watch this. As soon as we step around the next corner, what do you know? Another pickaxe guy. And another one. Now, it's not easy to get behind these guys in these tight corridors. Like, it's really not easy to go for the backstab and try to get them like that. So you can't rely on that. What you want to do is you want to be defensive. Go around every single corner with your shield up. And just be smart. And for God's sake, do not play in human form. You'll mess up your tendency. So, that pickaxe drop right there. You don't have to buy the one at the beginning if you don't want to, but if you really feel like you're going to have a hard time getting through those guys and don't have enough pierce damage at your disposal, highly recommend you buy that one anyway. How do I want to do this? I know there's a fat minister over there. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do this. Just know you're going to get a pickaxe anyway because of that drop, but here we go. He's going to start shooting fire at me now. Alright, so grab that item. It'll only take us half a second to get back up here. No big deal. And the pickaxe is a cool weapon, man. Like, I can't really complain about that weapon or take anything away from it. It's not like an end game high tier weapon necessarily, but it's still good. Alright, so this is the goal here. This big door ahead of us, this gate, that's what we want to open. That's kind of our goal for this little section, but what we gotta do is we gotta go get to the lever that will open it first. And we don't want to get to the, which is actually right down there, you can see it from here. But what we want to do is we want to deal with the Fat Minister first, because he's going to shoot at you and he's going to cause you some issues while you're trying to, or trying to get to him at least. So let me see if I can look at the bottom of this bridge and see which one is going to break, because that's the problem with this part is you need to run down the sides of the bridge, but I think one side breaks and one does not. So let's hope I picked the right one. I'm going to go down this side. And of course, I picked wrong. Alright, no big deal. So it only takes a second to get back up there. So now we know which side to run down in order to get to him. We're going to go kick his ass. And you can fight him in range if you want to. Like, there's nothing stopping you. But and you can inflict bleed on these guys too. So a little damage over time going. And he fell. No big deal. If he's down there, we can still finish him. And then there shouldn't be anything else up here, so let's run back across. And we'll start working our way through this next little portion of the level. Man, what a jerk. Tell you what, we're actually going to drop down on this side. That's the smarter thing to do. We'll deal with some of these guys. Now, you can just backstab all these guys. You'll kill them in one hit, but they're not challenging to begin with. Make sure we get our bad guys so we can get our upgrades. And I'm playing offline, but you'll notice there's still a ghost that appears here. That's actually a tutorial ghost, because this part, if the tutorial ghost wasn't here to show you visually that you need to pull this lever to get through, I would imagine this part would be a little bit confusing. It wouldn't be as obvious as they intended it to be. And there we have it. So now the only thing left to do for this part is we just want to collect the goodies. So let's go get the items. Got some sharpening stones, so that way we don't need to buy them. This bridge does not break, so don't worry about this one. And I recommend trying to get those guys before they have the opportunity to attack you, because once the pickaxe guy swings at you, you really just have to wait for the attack to be over. Okay, this should be our last bad guy. We'll get our goodies. Alright. And where did the fat minister go? Did the bleed kill him? No way. I think the bleed killed him. Stellar. Alright. So now, for the 90th time, we're going to run through here. Oh, he's over here. Okay. Oh, wow. The bleed left that much of him? Come on. Okay, okay. We got his gloves. Alright. So far, our drops have been good in this playthrough, I think. Our RNG is it's on point. So now, we can proceed through. We're going to hit our first fog wall. Alright. Fantastic. I think that's a pretty good start to Stonefang Tunnel. The next episode, we are going to continue in Stonefang Tunnel. I'm probably going to stay here for the next few episodes, just so we can clear everything. Stonefang is it's pretty long. It's one of the longer archstones. Like, this first level is a little bit short, but the next sections of this place are going to be quite lengthy, and they're going to need some serious coverage. And I'm going to have to explain quite a few things as well to help you get the most out of the experience. So, thank you guys so much for joining me on the expert walkthrough of Demon's Souls. I'm glad to be back on schedule, and I will catch all of you guys in the next episode. Where's my wave emoji? There it is. Bye, guys.